25 minutes past 7. Good to have you with us this morning. Now then, the biggest ever survey of black British people has found less than half are proud of being British. In fact, only just over a third of the 11,000 surveyed said that they see Britain as their permanent home.
Now, we did touch on this topic with the legendary broadcaster Clive Myrie yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
The facts are, from my own personal experience, that having lived in America for several years, Washington, LA correspondent, lived in Japan, lived in Singapore, lived in South Africa, lived in France, lived in Belgium. This is the country where I'd want to live, and that's why I'm here.
Well, why do so many black Britons feel disconnected from Britain? And is this a wake-up call to do something about it?
We're joined now by Gogglebox star Marcus Luther, who is part of that 49% who don't feel proud to be British, and Nero Ughwujabo is a former special advisor to the Prime Minister Theresa May, who is indeed proud of being British. Marcus, let's start with you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
So what is it about the idea of being British that you say means you don't feel proud?
Okay, so when you live in England or you live in Britain, they pick and choose when you're accepted or not. And although I love this place as a country, I love it here, I just feel there's more that we can do to make more people of colour feel more proud of where we come from, because we do have a lot to contribute in society, and we have contributed a lot to society. But
what are those moments then? What are those experiences that you've had that have suddenly taken away the love that you have of being in Britain from wanting to be proud to be British?
okay, so for example, I've got two boys. I run a boxing gym as well. One of my youngest boy, he has a big social media presence. He's #1 in the country. He just won the Europeans boxing for England, which is great. He's got his England vest on. But then when we go back home and he posts his achievements up on his social media page, he's called the N-word, he's called a monkey. Go back to your country. He was born here just like me. And this is 4th generation children. And you're not born racist. You're not born racist. So that is something that is taught by these people, you know, and so it's hard to be proud of something when you achieve something for your country.
Yeah. With great pride as well, I'm sure.
Great pride and hard work.
Yeah.
It wasn't given to him, it's hard work. And that's some of the things that we're faced with in our world.
Nero, look, there he is. Brilliant. You know, #1, boxing champ, superb. And it's remarkable, Nero, that a young person doing that is just still targeted by racists. To the point where you feel like you're achieving something for your country, but some of your countrymen won't allow you to enjoy that and will just try and take you down.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of things to be proud of about being British. And I think such achievements are definitely things that we can point to. But I also understand very much why a lot of people don't feel that they can be proud. Because as you say, there are all these range of issues in terms of the personal experiences of black people in this country, the experience of discrimination, the way in which black people are portrayed in the media, the way in which our political conversation kind of polarizes people and kind of makes some people other. I think all of those issues are what are having that impact of people feeling disconnected, feeling unengaged, and feeling alienated.
What makes you proud to be British?
So as I said, there are many things that you can look at. So from my perspective, for example, as our colleague was saying, I choose this country to be the country where I want to live. I'm really proud of the NHS as an organization. If you look at the rest of the world who don't have that kind of service.
Right.
I'm also proud that Britain is a multicultural, diverse community where people from all over the world live. These are things that I really value.
Right,
Have you ever faced those things that Marx is talking about as well, though, Nero? In the world that you work in, have you ever had to compromise maybe who you are to try and fit in, you know, in the world of politics?
Or had your achievements undermined by people then just throwing racist abuse at you?
Yeah, all of those things are realities, so I won't deny it in any shape or form. I was chief executive of a black-led organization for 16 years, and then going into government, a completely different space. The first person of African descent to be a special advisor to a prime minister. So I had that sort of much more awareness of my blackness within that space, there's no doubt. But I think that ultimately, we have to just understand that there are a whole range of problems that we need to fix. So no community, no society is perfect, but I think we have an opportunity to address the issues and create an opportunity for more young people to feel connected to this country.
Marcus, it's an interesting week to be discussing this because we've had the Home Secretary say that multiculturalism has failed.
Okay.
And that certain communities do not integrate, which is the reason for the failure. But it seems from what you're saying, you feel like you're not allowed to integrate. That there are people. It's not your problem. It's the racism that makes that multiculturalism.
We talk about England and UK as a multicultural place, and it is. There's a lot of people from different parts of the world that live here, but there's no point living in the UK when you can't be yourself. So it's multicultural because there's black, Asian, Chinese people all in one space, but the only culture that we're allowed to understand is white culture. We're not allowed to be ourselves here. So if you can't be yourself, how can you call the place multicultural? And why should we just conform? And conforming isn't really something that's going to help us all progress and become one. If we all work together, we would, as a country, we would do so much better in terms of abroad, in other countries, with connections, in Asia and other countries, just connections.
Yes, because our multiculturalism is also, as you say, multiple connections.
Right.
Incredibly powerful.
Yes, it's very powerful.
So Britain is not really tapping into the opportunity that it has by the makeup of the people that are simply here.
What did you make of Suella Braverman's comments, Nero?
Well,
that multiculturalism has failed. There's a failure of integration. I mean, I live in London, one of the most multicultural places on the planet, and it feels like a success.
Yeah, so exactly that. I think the multiculturalism of Britain, Britain stands out as a success in that space. And I think, in fact, if you look at the fact that we have a British Asian who is a Hindu, who is the Prime Minister of this country, that's a very clear example of success. Multiculturalism, like anything else, is work in progress. So we may not have all the issues resolved, it may not be perfect, but we are making progress. And I think my call from this report is that it really is a call to action for our politicians to think about the ways in which we can address this long-standing inequality.
Prime Minister, is he allowed to be himself, though? Or does he have to just conform and do as he's told?
Yeah, so I agree with you completely that we do better and we deliver our best when we can bring our whole self. So I'm not sure that we are, I can't say that we are there, but I think there is, so like I'm saying, there is work to do to create that space and to build a Britain where we can truly be ourselves, where young black people can say, I'm proud to be British. That's the work that we need to do to achieve progress.
I just want to say I love you being yourself on Googlebox. I think, you know, the way you represent you and your partner, it's entertaining, it's compelling, and it's thought provoking.
Is it a good experience?
It is. I actually do as I'm told. But the message is to be fair.
Have you found, though, as your profile has risen, you've been able to have a little bit more of a sort of a platform to be able to share some of the thoughts that you want to share?
Yeah, I am fortunate enough to be in a position where I can actually talk about some of the things that are happening out in the world and help a lot of people. Like I said, I have a boxing club which is quite successful. We went to the Europeans and I had a white girl who won gold for England and a black boy that won gold for England, which is good. And we don't see colour there. And
yeah.
So if we could just do a bit more of that, you know, a bit more of that, I think.
You have every reason to be very proud of that, Marcus. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Nero.
Marcus.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you to the team.
Right, 7:35.